Let me say something that may surprise you. Most Christians don't struggle because they don't believe that God exists. Most of us struggle because we don't believe we deserve God's love. We're worthy of God's love. We're good enough for God to love us. Most of us, that's where the struggle is. I'm not good enough for God to love me. Yes, God loves everyone in general, but not me personally because of my bad behavior. And there's one lie underneath almost every fear, every shame spiral, every guilt, every collapse. I am not good enough for God to love me. And that lie is actually ancient. It didn't start with you, but in Genesis 3, where the serpent deceived Eve. And he didn't deceive Eve by telling Eve God doesn't exist. Nor did he straight out say God hates you. It was way more subtle than that. Did God really say? Did God really say? In other words, God's love isn't enough. You can't trust God's love. God's love is conditional. And the moment humanity believed that lie, shame came to life. Because shame always says, I'm defective, I'm disqualified, I'm not good enough to be loved. We tell that same lie today. As a matter of fact, it's still here, it's just dressed in religious language. Once I fix myself, God will love me. If I were stronger, God would stay close. If God really loved me, why am I struggling like this? I messed up too badly for God to still love me. Let me be clear. That's not conviction, that's condemnation. And Romans 8 verse 1 clearly states that there is no condemnation in Jesus Christ. Say that again. There is no condemnation in Jesus Christ, because condemnation pushes you away from God, while love pulls you towards God. I heard a sermon today, and it was such a beautiful sermon about grace finding you. And it was perfect until the end, when the preacher decided to tell us that we did not deserve God's love. We were not worthy of God's love. And while what the preacher was saying was that there's nothing good that we have done to earn God's love, what he actually said was we did not deserve God's love. And that's so not true. And let me be clear. You deserve God's love because you are his child. It's your relationship to him. Okay, you deserve God's love because he made you. He created humanity. We are his handiwork. He made us. And so we are deserving. We are worthy of his love because we are his creation. Just like your children deserve your love and are worthy of your love. And you would consider yourself a horrible parent if you thought your children were not worthy of your love, because they are your children. You made them. You're responsible for them. In the same way, you and I are worthy and deserving of God's love, not because we've earned it by what we have done, but based on our relationship to him, where he is our creator. We are his creation. You know, I was in jail, and it's not just the guilt you feel based on what you have done, but it's, have I done too much for God to continue to love me? Have I done, is this the thing now where I've finally embarrassed God and I have used up all of his grace and I'm undone and he doesn't want anything else? Those are the lies that Satan will play on you over and over. Maybe you have done something you're not proud of. Maybe you're coming from doing something. Maybe you did something last night. I don't know. Maybe you've done something or you're involved in something that you are not proud of, and that lie is being whispered. God doesn't love you anymore. God is done with you. You've used up his grace. You've crossed the line. That's not God speaking. That's shame trying to be spiritual. Here's the truth that destroys a lie. God does not love you because you're good. God loves you because he is good. God's love comes out of his goodness. God's love comes out of who he is. 1 John 4 verse 8 introduces God. God is love. It's his nature. It's who he is. It's not what he gives. It's not what he shares. It's not what's earned. It's who he is. God is love. Which means his love is not fragile. It's not here today and gone tomorrow. It's not performative. It doesn't disappear when you fail, because it's who he is. In order for God's love to disappear, God himself would have to disappear, because that's who God is. And 1 John 4 verse 18 says what? Perfect love casts out all fear. Fear of rejection, abandonment, fear of being exposed and discarded. God's love casts all fear out of us. Here's why the lie is so dangerous. When you believe you're not good enough to be loved, you operate in survival mode. You operate from stuff like people-pleasing, control, anger, addiction, resentment, withdrawal, perfectionism, and all of that leads to burnout. All of that will eventually run out. And once we get burnt out, we begin to hide because we're ashamed. You know my definition for shame? It's hiding your face. Hiding your face. And so it's a cycle. I'm not good enough. I'm ashamed. So I start operating out of stuff that burn me out, that causes me to be ashamed. We break that cycle. We break that cycle by believing that God loves us. We break that cycle by loving God, not out of fear, but out of love. And that's where strength comes from. Jesus did not wait for people to fix themselves up before he started loving them. You remember the adulterous woman from John chapter 8, the thief, the outcast, the doubter, the denier. He loved them and he said, come just as you are, come. As a matter of fact, I love Matthew 11:28. For all those who are tired and are heavy laden, for all those who are stressed out and are anxious, just come and find rest in my love. The cross settles the discussion of God's love based on goodness. That's why the cross is there. Jesus died because we were not good. Jesus died because we would have never been able to earn God's love. God loves you unconditionally. He didn't love you after you've improved. He loved us while we were broken. So let me ask you something gently. Where is this lie showing up in your life? Are you exhausted from trying to be good enough? Are you hiding parts of yourself from God, from others, from you? Are you serving without joy? Are you stuck in shame even after you've been forgiven? Listen carefully. If you and I had to earn God's love, we could never rest. But because God loves us unconditionally, we can breathe. You don't fight for love. You fight from God's love. Do something, it's simple, but it's going to be powerful. Would you say out loud, God loves me, not because I'm good, but because he is love. Say that again now. God loves me, not because I'm good, but because he is love. That belief is strength. That belief is freedom. That belief, the belief that God loves me unconditionally is where your healing begins. And it's not only where your healing begins, it's where your strength comes from. The more you believe, the deeper you believe that God loves you. Stop trying to be a Christian. Stop trying to forgive people. Stop trying this. No. Stop. Just believe God loves you unconditionally. And the more you believe that, the stronger you will become. Preacher said something today that wasn't true. He said people who believe they deserve God's love go back and do the same bad stuff. That's not true. That's not true. We do the same bad stuff because we don't believe we deserve God's love. Now, people who believe they earned God's love may have because they paid for it, which a lot of us as Christians are, if I give enough money, if I paid my due. Yeah. No. People who believe they deserve God's love based on relationship, based on father-child relationship, love their daddy so much they don't want to do anything to hurt their daddy. Believe God loves you unconditionally. You'll become stronger. Just believe he loves you.